Well, Bennett Kessler filed this following report. Although a few June Lake residents continue to gripe about Mammoth Mountain's handling of June Mountain, the complaints, according to ski area spokesman, are mostly unjustified. Now, Ron Cohen, company administrative officer, said the ski area went to work in May to get June Mountain ready to open in December. He also pointed to the trip a number of officials and June Lake people took to Vermont to get ideas for promoting June Mountain as a family-oriented resort. Now, on the very practical side of things, Cohen said crews have worked to get lifts ready for testing and annual certification. They have also performed erosion control. Now, Cohen said crews are still at work on lifts and runs. Plus, the ski area has purchased a lot of new computers to replace obsolete ones and also a new radio system for mountain communications. Cohen said the total investment since last October adds up to around $1 million. Now, contrary to citizen complaints, Cohen said the ski area has been in communication with Mono County about regular meetings on June Mountain. Now, Alice Szynski, a member of the committee for a viable June Mountain, wrote a letter to the Mono supervisors, which they agendized last week. Now, she claimed Mammoth Mountain has failed to meet its commitments on June Mountain, including plans for marketing. Cohen said of Ms. Szynski, quote, "She has a strong point of view. We are not in business to fight, but to make successes," end quote. Now, Cohen said that Chief Operations Officer Greg Dallas has put his stamp on the dual operations of both ski areas. Cohen said there will be some changes on how the staff is organized, with more under the umbrella of Mammoth Mountain. Some specifically skilled employees will be shared with both Mammoth and June. Now, Cohen said June Mountain General Manager Carl Williams will report to Mr. Dallas, and he made it clear that Williams has done a fantastic job of managing June with a lot of efficiency. Cohen said new plans will make gains. The issues, he said, are about revenue, not cost. Now, Cohen said the appointment of Julie Brown as manager of guest experience puts more emphasis on that area. As for claims that the ski area has no money to market June Mountain, Cohen said that's not the case. He said the company is, quote, taking a much stronger approach to marketing both ski areas, end quote. Now, Cohen said that Eric Forsell, the new chief marketing officer, has June Mountain, quote, on his short list of priorities, end quote. He said the plan to allow kids under 12 to ski for free is unique. Cohen said that this is, quote, a big message that June Mountain is family friendly, end quote. He hinted that there will be a big splash on opening day. Now, as for the capital improvements of a new Chair 1 as well as snowmaking, those projects are on track for next season, with paperwork going to the Forest Service in January, according to Cohen. And although Ms. Szynski said Congressman Paul Cook will hold up H.R. 1241 on Mammoth Mountain's land exchange until June Lake's concerns are addressed, Cohen said that the ski area understands the Mono supervisor support of that bill will not be ignored by the congressman. At last week's Mono County Supervisors meeting, Tim Alpers said that the congressman's office indicated to him that the bill would move ahead. Well, Bennett Kessler also filed this story. At a preliminary hearing last week, Don D. and Ken Rossi of Bishop were held to answer to nearly 60 charges in the case involving the alleged embezzlement of $1.5 million from the Inyo County Welfare Department. They both remain out of jail on GPS monitoring. Inyo County Assistant District Attorney Joel Samuels said that he filed a third amended complaint, including over 60 counts at the preliminary hearing. He said the defendants were held to answer on all but 5 or 6 counts. Now, Samuels said both Don D. and Ken Rossi face charges of theft or embezzlement of public funds or conspiracy to do so, identity theft or conspiracy to steal identities, and filing false or no tax returns. There are also additional counts of alleged forgery by Don D. Rossi. The DA alleges that she placed false information in government records. Now, the next phase of this case involves the filing of more information and evidence, as many as 430 exhibits. Additionally, testimony revealed that in 2009, the county's Social Services Department changed the way computer systems were used. The operations went from hard copies only to scanned documents with the policy to retain hard copies. Samuels alleges that some documents were not scanned and had no hard backup. Now, the couple will appear for arraignment on charges October 15th in Independence in front of visiting Judge Hammer. Samuel said that if the Rossies do not waive time, a trial could be scheduled in 60 days. Well, Mammoth's new interim town manager is Dan Holler, and Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill talked with Holler, and here's the first part of a two-part interview.
Yeah, my career spans about 25 years in local government, coming out of Montana State University, both in Montana with a master's in public administration. I spent 7 years in Southern California, just under 14 years in Northern Nevada, 5.5 years in Northern California, and now with the opportunity in Mammoth Lakes.
Great. And have you had experiences with towns like Mammoth Lakes, tourist communities, and whatnot?
Yeah. The fun part about the background has been very varied in terms of the types of cities and counties working for. All of them have had a tourism element, particularly with Douglas County, Nevada, working with the Lake Tahoe South Shore, the ski and recreational industry, the casino industry from a tourism standpoint, as well as the Carson Valley. The same in the Grass Valley region, the gold country and the activities that go there, a lot of festivals, arts and culture, just a great element in there, and the historic gold component of that area. So a lot of experience working with that, and the importance of the visitor experience, but also laid over top of that, the importance of our quality of life for our long-term residents and businesses.
And what made you interested in coming to Mammoth?
Mammoth is, I think, a great opportunity for someone to come in and work. It's one, just take a look around us in terms of the environment you're in. Take a look at the smaller cities appeal to me. I grew up in a town of about 5,000 people. The ability to make a difference in the community is huge. Mammoth has a ton of assets and opportunities here that are really attractive. A lot of past issues look like they're on the wane side, so they're being addressed. And the future for the community looks extremely bright. And so it's an opportunity to make a difference. It's an opportunity to be engaged in really seeing a vibrant community come from Mammoth and extend to what it already has.
Okay. So speaking to that, what are some of the biggest problems you think this town is facing right now, and how do you hope to address those? And I know that is a big question, but to condense it down to kind of just a short thing.
I think looking at the town, I mean, been here a week, looking at challenges that way. I think there's, again, I would say I think there's probably more opportunity than really challenges and issues. Definitely, working through the town's financial status and where it's at, the ongoing competition for tourism dollars will continue. How do you look at those things? A fair number of vacant positions in the city, so looking at how do we restructure, what does the organization look like, how do you set that up in terms of meeting those needs in the community, how do you balance out the community priorities and desires out there with core public services that we need to provide, and then also just being that inclusive process. It's open to the community. The community here is very engaged, which is another positive. You have people that care about their town, and I think that's a positive element for the city. There's a number of people I've met here just in the last week that care passionately about Mammoth Lakes. There's employees here that really care passionately about the city and what we do and how we do it. And so I think working through that and really rebuilding the organization, the culture of the organization, and that ongoing outreach in the community of how do we move forward in ways that benefit those folks that live here and call Mammoth home, and those folks that visit and come here to play and have a great time.
Well, we thank Dan Holler and Rob Gill for that, and we'll be back with more news.